What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Casual Fridays here at Miami, where we talk everything Miami, basketball, and dive a little deeper into personalities surrounding the program. Today, a special guest, graduate assistant Cowan Olinger. Cowan, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad I could make the appearance.
Absolutely. There's a lot of people begging to get on around here, so it's a very special opportunity. But tell us a little bit about your background, how you ended up at Miami.
Yeah, so started out really as a student manager at Purdue. Was there for 4 years, graduated in May 2017. My senior year was the head manager. I was just fortunate enough when Coach Owens came here, was able to jump on board in the graduate assistant. It's been a great experience so far, and just learned a lot, and I'm very appreciative of the experience.
Yeah, there's no question. And obviously, we all know Coach Owens spent 9 years at Purdue. There were very strong Purdue ties to here on Miami's coaching staff, which we're all proud of. But you spending all that time under Coach Owens at his time at Purdue, what's kind of your biggest takeaway in your approach from day-to-day operations here?
My biggest thing is just work ethic. Day in and day out, you got to bring it. Whether it's the middle of July or it's the middle of January, you got to bring it 100% in everything you do, whether, that's typing up a practice plan or watching film. That's really the biggest thing I took away, and, a lot of what we do here is what we did at Purdue. So for me, it made for an easy transition, and we kind of shape it into what we want it to be, and that's a great basketball program.
Absolutely. Now you have had some experience in working some high-level AAU camps, some I guess you would say brand camps. Tell us about your experience with that.
Sure. Yeah. So before I was here, as a student manager, just going around different campuses, working camps. One summer, worked at Syracuse camp. Worked all Purdue camps throughout my 4 years. And then before I started here, worked at Under Armour camp. And just really neat experiences getting to travel around and see how different people do things. I think you can always grow, you can always learn from how people do things. And yeah, just seeing good basketball. I mean, that's really why we're in this, right? To watch good basketball and have fun doing it.
Yeah, and there's no question that, we hopefully getting some more good basketball here in Oxford, but Division I college basketball, is that something you always had your eyes set on?
Yeah, kind of really started ever since I was growing up. I've always loved sports. Played pretty much baseball and basketball ever since I was little. I've always loved baseball, but really when I got into high school and trying to figure out, did I want to play at a lower level, Division III or Division II or whatnot, or did I want to get into the student manager role? And it's something that came about, and it was a great way to stay around the game, competitively as well. And so yeah, just really just building off that. Division I basketball has been something that I've always kind of dreamed of, and it's neat to see it kind of working itself out, and I'm very appreciative of everyone that's kind of shown me the ropes and led me to where we are today.
No question, and I think that there's nobody around our program that puts more time and puts more effort into what we do than Cowan, and does behind the scenes work. Can you give us an outline of your day during the season? Like, what does that look like for Cowan Olinger?
Yeah, so
you see his eyebrows raised.
Really?
There's a lot of stuff that goes, a lot of stuff that he does.
Trying to think of putting it into a few words, but really the main role here for me is film. So really breaking down either our games or opponents' games, and just making sure I get those to the coaches with adequate time so they can watch it and make the proper game plans, or see what we need to do offensively or defensively. So really just kind of focusing on our next few opponents and trying to get those games done on a Wednesday morning. we played that previous Tuesday night as the MAC schedule goes Tuesday, Saturday. So that Wednesday morning, I'll take a look at the schedules, see what teams have played, and make sure that I get those games done so that they do have enough time. Because that's, being around Coach Owen's, film is, if maybe not the most important, but it's up there, in terms of what we do.
Yeah, there's a high priority in terms of watching film on our staff, which is why I thought we were pretty successful last year, being just prepared and putting the most time in. And obviously, when you're the guy that's in charge of breaking it all down, it's pretty time consuming. And not only that, you got your own schoolwork to do, right?
Right. Yeah. No, it is a lot of work, but you yourself have a lot of work. All the coaches have a lot of work, and it's really just it's a good group of guys to be around. Everyone's willing to help each other, and no matter what the situation is. So I'm very appreciative of that. And then with school has been a great experience, just with the professors, the community, the other grad students, getting to know some of them, getting to see some of their backgrounds, what they want to do, whether that's get in and being in a leadership position over at the co-rec or in an academic building of some sort. It's just really neat to see everyone kind of come together in the Miami community and the Oxford community, and really have the best interest of each person.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say the hardest part of what you do is?
The hardest part for me personally is just time management. And it's something that I work on every day, trying to decide how much of my time do I want to put to school, how much of my time do I want to put to work, and then how much of time do you get at the end of the day, kind of just to take a couple deep breaths, really just relax and kind of prepare for the next day. So really just trying to figure that out, but it is a work in progress, and I think that can be said for anyone and everyone.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Now, I get 3-4 emails a day about people inquiring about graduate assistant positions. What would your main advice be to someone who's trying to get into one of those roles? And then when they do get in that role, what's the biggest advice you have for them?
I would say, we've talked about this before, you trying to go from a high school coach and get in Division I, and we've talked about how we just sent emails after emails after emails after emails out, whether or not you get a response or not. I think it's important, just to continue to work hard. What I like to do, listen to different people, read different books, different articles, go to conferences, go to networking events, reach out to people, try to figure out their story, how they got about it, and really go from there. And that opportunity will come. It might not be right away, or it might not be exactly what you want it to be, but you have to be willing to put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and it'll all work out. I think if you work hard and do what's right, it'll all work out. But once you get into that role, just do everything to the best of your abilities and do the little things. Do everything 100%, like I said earlier, literally 100%. And, if you do something wrong, you do something wrong. Everybody makes mistakes around here. We always joke around with one another if someone messes up, but it's going to happen. But just work hard and do what's right, I think, is the best advice.
For sure. I think the cool part about Cowan's job is he's got one-on-one time with the head basketball coach here at Miami with film, and he's sitting there and he's working with coach directly. And at the same time, out at practice, he could be wiping the floor up. It's kind of just one of those things. He just does everything, and I think that's why he's in this position, because he's willing to put himself out there and do all of those things, which is pretty awesome. But Cowan, what are your expectations for the Redhawks this upcoming year?
Well, I always have high expectations. Going 16-18 last year, I think it was a really good year one for us. We learned a lot about ourselves, but I think we always shoot for that 20 win mark. So kind of just have those expectations, and I think they are realistic expectations. I think you got to be realistic with yourself. But we have great guys coming back. We have a really good group returning. And, you know, this summer has been great. Everyone has made their strides. So just really looking forward, you know, with this being the last week of workouts, get a couple weeks off. I'm really looking forward to the fall and seeing these guys take that next step. And then once the season gets around, hopefully we can kind of bear the fruits of our labor.
Absolutely. I know we've got a lot of high expectations around here, which rightfully so, because we got a lot of great guys coming back. But all right, I got some rapid fire questions for you. You ready?
Ready.
All right, deep dish or thin crust pizza?
Deep dish.
Deep dish. All right. If you had to choose online class or actually be in the classroom?
Have to go with online class.
Online class. This is a funny one for him and I, because we all have opposing views on this one. I know what his answer is going to be, but Bears or Packers?
I'm going Bears. I'm also going to make the statement that Mitch Trubisky, he's on his way to the throne of the best quarterback in the North.
All right, now this interview is taking a turn for the worse here. All right, Sox or Cubs?
Cubs.
And last one, your favorite TV show?
I have to go with The Office.
The Office, that's a solid choice. Cowan, appreciate you coming on
Awesome.
today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us today. Come fly with us next week as we have a very special guest.